Peter Aldous.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. I congratulate my right honourable friend, the member for Hemel Hempstead, for securing this debate, and I thank the Backbench Business Committee for granting it. Times are changing, quite often at a rapid pace, and thus I can understand the rationale behind the BBC's plans. However, I am worried that their proposals have not been properly thought through, have neither been fully researched, consulted upon, nor scrutinised, and risk isolating particular groups and communities that the BBC are obliged to serve. It is in this context that I make the following observations. The first point that I would make is that if these proposals go through, at certain times it is proposed that Radio Suffolk will share content not only with Radio Norfolk, but also with Radio Cambridgeshire, Three Counties Radio, which covers Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire and Buckinghamshire, and also with radios Northamptonshire and Essex. The total population of all these counties is higher than that of Denmark, and they cover an area 3/4 of the size of Belgium. It is necessary to bear in mind also that older people, often living on their own, without advanced digital skills and for whom local radio is a vital link to the outside world, in many respects the need for such service has been reinforced and restated by the COVID lockdowns. The need to meet the needs of older people is very much relevant in East Anglia, where we have a particularly high proportion of older people living in the region. Thirdly, Mr Deputy Speaker, it's vital that the policy changes of this nature are subject to a rurality test so as to ensure that they do not unfairly impact on those living in rural areas such as Suffolk. It is also important to highlight the role that the BBC local radio has played at times of emergency and crisis. On the night of 5th December 2013, the storm surge hit the east coast of the UK. Radio Suffolk, led by presenter Mark Murphy, played a key role in keeping both local communities and also those responsible for coordinating support and rescue services informed about the progress of the storm surge down the Suffolk coast. The information that they provided may well have saved lives and have prevented injury. It was a spontaneous and local decision by Radio Suffolk to alter their programming to provide this service. It has been suggested, Mr Deputy Speaker, that local newspapers can take on this role, but it should also be pointed out that many of them have embarked on the same journey that the BBC are now pursuing of moving their services onto digital platforms. My final point, Mr Deputy Speaker, is that it's important to emphasise that the BBC are not the only providers of local radio. East Suffolk 1 is emerging as an exciting new local radio station based in Lowestoft and covering the Suffolk coast. However, they are currently constrained from growing and developing by not being able to broadcast on a DAB frequency, poor local DAB infrastructure, and a time-consuming, bureaucratic and expensive commercial radio licensing structure. On 29 March, the government published the draft media bill, which has the objective of reducing the regulatory burdens and costs on commercial radio stations. Mr Deputy Speaker, there is now an urgent need for this bill to start its progress through Parliament, and I would welcome an update on the government's plans when my honourable friend, the Minister, replies. In conclusion, Mr Deputy Speaker, I urge the BBC to pause and review their plans, and I would ask the government to liaise closely with them so as to ensure that the BBC's proposals fit in with and complement a properly coordinated local media strategy.